Hi everyone, it's me again, and we are violating the very thing we said we weren't doing last time because we're doing another video about Amberlynn because I somehow, even though despite the fact that I thought it couldn't be possible, had jumped the gun because so much happened, I swear, literally seconds after my last video. Before we get into that, links, source, and ways to support the channel all down below, including YouTube, Patreon, Amazon, all that silly dilly, whatever have you. I would like to thank my current members and patrons' names on the screen. Thank you for the continued support. I adore y'all. Now, I am going to unscript this video again because I don't have time and also because I know what happened. I am locked in on this. We have clocked into the Amberlynn Reid factory. Updates on my life in regards to this. Zachary Michael has noticed me, talked about me in a video, and followed me on Twitter. We have won the game, I fear. What else? This is going to be an absolutely bonkers series of events. This is going to be kind of podcast style. I will have visuals on the screen, obviously. Shout out to Zachary Michael also. Or I'll do like a Foodie Beauty, like their like Foodie Beauty intro style. So what do we got? Zachary Mike, the Zachary Mike, Poe and Judy's father, ZM, and Zachary Michael. I'm trying to think of like all the different names, but like unfortunately they don't have a lot of names in the same way that Foodie Beauty does. But they sent me the Alexis versus Amberlynn stream as a video file that I could download it and look at and stuff like that. So all the video clips added into the video for that stream are courtesy of Zachary Michael. Recording this and then working all day exhausted me so bad last night that I went to bed at like 10 p.m. at the latest. And because I decided that I should go to sleep, more stuff happened while I was sleeping. Not to mention that after I had recorded this, like an hour later, Alexis put out this huge Q&A thing. So understand that there will be a lot of sad cat commentary today, and you're going to have to lock in for that because I can't record this again, honestly, but most of it will be my fun face and my silly little glasses. But I just wanted to pre-warn y'all, you better be ready. They're the most popular reaction channel. I feel like I really don't have to do anything with that, but I'll link them down below regardless, because I find they're also pretty good for taking a more sensitive approach, because I know that a lot of comments I have when I do talk about Amber is a lot of people saying that like the reason why they like my swing on things is because I'm less like cruel. And I find that Zach is also very good for not being like super messy and things like that. So let's get into it. I might section the video if I feel like it. But anyway, we got the intro. Duh, we just did that. We're going to need the Erica saga. And then we're going to need the Tommy updates and the Alexis saga. So that's going to have to be 3, I guess. So those are the parts. But yeah, holy moly. Anyway, so let's get into the first section. I guess part 1, for lack of a better term. We're going to talk about Erica. Now, everyone's going to be like, Mika, who's Erica? Now, in the last video, I made this very helpful visual. I will put it back on screen of Amberlynn Reid's recent partners. Now, I'm going to be using this, but then highlighting which one I'm talking about at a given time before I get into it, because this is very complicated. So, Erica was known previously as Valentine. Now, why do we know who Erica is by chance? Mr. Snowflake, I swear, moments after my video release, because British people hate me, I don't know, JK, but friend of the channel, Mr. Snowflake, made a video theorizing that Valentine was the same person as Tommy, just because of how quick the overlap was, how similar the descriptions of the two were, the way that Amberlynn kind of described like the way that they met and the interactions they had. It was a pretty good video. The evidence was like pretty decent. But what it is that it's just that Amberlynn tries to play the same tricks over and over again, because in reality it was actually 2 different people. With this in mind, however, we now have Tommy and Erica very close together. So who's Erica? Erica is Valentine, as I mentioned, but is also someone who was married. And Amberlynn started talking to Erica last year when Amberlynn moved to Oklahoma. And because of Mr. Snowflake's video, Amberlynn came on and said, the 2 people are not the same. Valentine's name is Erica. Amberlynn had promised Erica that her name would never become public. The second that Amberlynn said Erica, somebody, I presume on Kiwi Farms, found her immediately. Now, Erica is married to someone named Britt. They've been married for about 10 years almost. So what happened was Erica and Brittany, and a screenshot had surfaced of Brittany posting in a hater Facebook group about Amberlynn Reid. The two were fans of reaction channels as well. And what happened was that Amberlynn Reid posted a TikTok saying that her type was possessive mask women. And Erica's like, low-key, I can fit that really easily. So then she DM'd Amber and was like, mask and possessive, you say? Devil emoji? And because Amberlynn Reid is the most naive person in all of existence and has never even conceived the idea of helping herself in any way, genuinely, was just like hooked, like just line and sinker immediately. And Amberlynn, throughout the time, was kind of pushing for messages to be exchanged between the two. I love how when we get further into this, the way that, one, people don't remember what Amberlynn Reid has said, even though I'm not a reaction channel or like an Amberlynn Reid expert situation type deal. But Erica, once her name is released, contacts the channel Apathetic Facts. Apathetic Facts is more of like a compilation channel. There's like a little bit of commentary sometimes that can go between things, but more so does like these sorts of kind of compilation things. One of the more famous channels like that as well is named Piggy, for example. Apathetic Facts got contacted by Erica, and Erica left a bunch of voice notes of the entire story of kind of what had happened between the two of them. Now enters the chat, Oh Lordy, It's Jordy, the reaction channel. Now, Oh Lordy, It's Jordy is the only one that hasn't noticed me yet, but we're going to ignore that. So that it makes it seem like I'm like chasing this. I just think it's funny. That's it. Please, it's not that serious. Anyway, Jordy is on stream. Jordy goes, because Jordy had contacted RE the last video, and I'm sorry, you have to watch the last video for this one to make any sense, I promise you. Jordy contacted Spanx Beluga, who had allegedly been messaging Tommy before Amber was messaging Tommy, and Spanx Beluga never answered Jordy. So Jordy, when he heard about Erica, was like, ooh, and slid into the DMs of Brittany, the wife, to my understanding. Brittany answers, and then Erica and Brittany call Oh Lordy, It's Jordy on live stream and tell the entire story. Fast forward now, it is the next day, I think. Amberlynn Reid makes a live stream discussing what had happened between her and Erica, called My Side of the Story, to my understanding. That's what that one was called. I should have probably pulled up Amberlynn Reid's channel before I started talking about all of this, but I have to work in like 40 minutes, and I'm just kind of going with the flow at this point, if I'm going to be honest with you. I have been like downloading, clipping, like running that up so fast. So where we left off was the it's over, and then the this has gone way too far part was the talking about the Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. No, talking about the Mr. Snowflake video with Erica, and then Amberlynn exposes who Erica is. Boom. Now we get to the My Side of the Story thing that goes through all the stuff with Erica after they call, Erica and Brittany call Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. Now, Erica describes that Amberlynn Reid was extremely possessive, that she was asking for her location on the app Life 360, talking about sort of the drama between them, and then Erica also discussed some kind of insider information about Amberlynn Reid's previous relationships as well.
See that, and once again, I was stupid for that too, I guess. So
well, I mean, you know, I'm not cutting you too much slack and everything, because I mean, obviously, you know that you did wrong, you got involved and everything, but it kind of sounds like this wasn't the best person to kind of. Yeah, because I mean, they obviously have a lot of emotional issues and attachments. I mean. And I mean, it kind of sounds like you didn't want to be mean. You didn't really want to.
And I wasn't mean. Like, I snapped at her a couple times because she was timing my responses. Like, oh, what were you doing for the last 4 minutes? What were you doing the last 30 minutes? What were you doing? And then on FaceTime, I would look at my emails or look at my messages from my friends. And she's like, what are you doing? You know, why are you looking at your phone? Why are you looking down at your phone like that? Because I wasn't looking directly at her. You know, I just got questioned. I couldn't even sit down and eat breakfast and without getting interrogated on what I was doing on my phone, you know? And
well, I mean, you know, Amberlynn doesn't have anything going on. She's not working. She doesn't really have anything to take up her time. So your life became her life.
Yeah. I mean, I was calling her on my way to work. I was calling her.
You know what? I will say this, Erica. This is exactly what she did with Destiny. Having her call her on the way to work. Whenever Destiny had like a 30-minute lunch break, she had to go to the car and she had to talk to Destiny, and they had to be on the phone with each other. And I mean, you can't keep that up, obviously, because I mean, you had a wife.
I was like, you know, I like music. I have a broad spectrum of music that I like, and I like listening to music on the way to work. Who does not like listening to music on the way to work? And I mean, unless you really want someone important to talk to. And I was like, you know, I would like to listen to music on the way to work, and that was an issue. That was an issue. And then on my way home, if I hadn't called her after the time she knew I got off, she would call me. And like, you know, some days after work, some days you just want to drive in silence. And I know there's people on this chat right now that can agree with me. You want to drive in silence on your way home from work some days. And I couldn't even have that. And I'm not a victim here. Again, I'm not a victim. But at the same time, I had pressure put on me that I did not feel comfortable with. So I'm not, you know, I was a bad person with what I did to my wife. And I'm going to take that to my grave, and I'm going to get my karma for it. It's going to come back tenfold. Not sure what's going to happen to me. I guess I'll know whenever it happens. But I'm not going to sit here and try and play victim and blame everyone else for it. I'm just saying I'm taking accountability for my actions.
Did you ever feel like you felt guilty if you didn't call Amber? Like, because I mean, you know, you were the one that reached out and you told her that you were a hater, and you know, this all started off as a game. So was there ever a part of you that kind of felt like I owe it to her?
No, not that. No, not like that. I felt more pressured, but not like that. That, you know, I owed it to her.
Pressured.
Yeah, it was kind of like there was a lot of things that were forced. That is like, I know that's a broad thing to say, but a lot of things with me, like where, you know, how you have pressure and you feel forced and you're like, okay, maybe, you know, I'll just call her and, you know, talk, whatever. It just, that's what it got down to. And yeah, you know, there was feelings involved, and there was a person that I was dealing with that I didn't see on YouTube. And like I told you, I don't now with all this, I don't know if who I was dealing with was a mask or if the YouTube is a mask. So, but what it looks like is the YouTube is her, and what I dealt with was a mask. And, you know, it was.
With this all happening, we now have obviously all these new people involved, and now it's also been exposed that essentially Amberlynn Reid was a homewrecker. When Erica is describing, Erica says that Amberlynn Reid knew I was married the whole time. Amberlynn Reid knew that I was the wife, blah, blah, blah. Amberlynn had denied this in the previous video. Erica also says that if Amberlynn was not being answered within a couple of minutes, that she would start to spam the messages and start calling her, whatever. And what's interesting is that these are extremely consistent behaviors of all complaints of Amberlynn Reid's partners. Like, even we talk about Destiny and stuff like that, Becky, Amber convinced to stop working. I understand that there's like the concept of like the requirement for a caretaker, but are we also not thinking about the fact that Amberlynn got cheated on from Destiny while Destiny was working, or that kind of became a thing from Destiny working? Like, Amberlynn wants like the partners fully entrapped. It's really scary, and this is the approach that I kind of seem to be taking, that I feel like a lot of people don't seem to conceptualize, maybe because they're stuck in the sort of concept of the character, maybe, but like Amberlynn's like a really dangerous and abusive partner. And like, why are we forgetting about this? Do we not remember the Casey stuff? Do we not remember the Crystal stuff? Like Mr. Snowflake made the videos and everything. It's like, why are we not like connecting that? It's like, anyway, Amberlynn says that Erica heavily downplays the relationship. That like Erica was way more into her than she's leading on. Erica wants to save her marriage with Brittany, and that because she's this huge cheater and stuff like that, and that Amber never forced her into anything.
Brittany and Erica said that they messaged me as a troll in the beginning. So Brittany's supposed to be a therapist. They watched me for over 5 years. They knew my mental health. They knew my mental state. They knew who I was. They knew that I had BPD. They knew these things, and a therapist still chose to troll me. What is that? Like, that is like, I feel like being glossed over, and it's just wrong. Like, what kind of a therapist would do that to someone? Like, regardless of how much you like them or dislike them or even hate them. Like, it's odd to me, and I'm not understanding it. I don't even know if I fully believe that it started as a troll. I don't know. Maybe it did. The fact is, Erica fell in love with me. Erica was going to move in with me, and she's downplaying everything that happened, especially after February 14th when she asked me to be her girlfriend. I do want to say I will let you guys ask me anything you want regarding me and Erica. I'm just not there yet. I do want to finish my little story time. And then I'll let you guys ask me questions if you guys are confused or anything and you want to know anything. So don't worry. So yeah, since I had assumed that Erica could be in a relationship since her wife was supposed to be in one, like literally living with somebody else, my whole thing was like, okay, Erica, we're both in love. Like, why aren't we committed to one another? Like, why aren't we together? Like, let's seal that deal. I very much, when I fell in love with someone, like, I want to be with them. And I thought I was in love with Erica, and I thought she was in love with me. So I was like, let's like do that thing. Let's like commit to one another. And sure, she did ask like, what would that entail? So I told her like, it's like loyalty, more like communication together and commitment with one another and things like that. And she agreed to it. She's like, yeah, like, do you want to be my girlfriend? You know, I felt like that was a mature conversation that I'm now seeing like she took it like in a different way, and she's saying like how I forced her to be in a relationship with me. That's crazy. That's not the way that I viewed it at all. But I'm beginning to see that like the way that I viewed most of the situation, I guess maybe she didn't, or she's purposely downplaying what she did to me because she's trying to save her marriage.
Now, if we go back to Amberlynn Reid's videos from this time, Amberlynn literally talks about how she's talking to somebody and how they're moving really slow because the other person won't engage to the amount that she wants, if that makes sense. Amberlynn talks about in her videos how she almost is kind of pushing this person. And I really, really, really hope I can find this. And it's going to suck for me to have to go back and find. And then if I can't, just like take my word for it. And that's bad. So maybe I'm going to seek out the besties from Girl World Twitter again. Because every time I ask something, people immediately have the answer, which is crazy. But I want to try to find clips from when Amber started talking to Erica, and it's describing the fact that, like, oh, moving slow because she doesn't want to, essentially. And Amberlynn has nothing else really going on besides these partners, right? So there's this, like, consistent drive.
Speaking of my Valentine, a lot of people are like, oh my god, is she, like, moving too quick? No, this is actually just something new that I decided to tell you guys about. I have been talking to her for almost 6 months now. So we've been in each other's lives for half of a year. This is, like, very much behind the scenes, and I just wanted to, like, share it with you guys because I was, like, so happy, and she said I could, and I don't know, it's just, like, really good vibes. I'm just feeling really happy, and I think that's, like, what's important, and I just kind of wanted to share that side of my life with you guys because it's something that I haven't been sharing with you guys. But yeah, definitely not moving fast. This is actually the slowest I have ever in my life moved with someone that I'm interested in. So props to me for doing that. Like, this girly pop taking it slow.
After the stream, and then Amberlynn kind of fights back on the stream about talking about her side of the story. Alexis, her friend, is on the phone. Alexis is her bestie. They're not dating or anything like that. Alexis is kind of also talking about how Erica was really downplaying everything, and how Erica's, like, this huge liar, and that Erica's fugly. And sure, I guess, but the thing with Amber is, like, there's also always going to be the aspect of, like, being a public figure and stuff like that, right? In the way that you need to be able to perceive that, like, there are situations where you need to be more careful in order to, like, keep yourself away from danger. But at the same time, it may be because she throws herself into these things, because whenever there's people who might be more into this sort of legitimate relationship, I feel like maybe they're seeing red flags really quickly, because Amber was also talking about how she was talking to a couple of other people during this time that kind of fell through. I missed a part. When Olorius Jordy was streaming with the first phone call with Erica and Brittany, this is before Amberlynn's stream, Amberlynn was in Jordy's chat insisting on going on. And Jordy's like, no. No. Because Amberlynn is super manipulative. And Amberlynn would then try to control the narrative in someone else's channel. Jordy has had... What's interesting is Zachary Michael talks about this all the time, too. Zachary Michael talks about how Amberlynn would try to manipulate them in the DMs constantly. And, like, would try to play the narrative and things like that. Alex Shook has even mentioned DMs where Amberlynn sends him something and then, like, unsends it and stuff like that. Oh, Lordy, it's Jordy kind of became famous on the girl world scene for starting by making these little commentary videos that were often kind of faceless. And then Amberlynn Reid, like, DMing him on Instagram, like, trying to befriend him, essentially. And Jordy just, like, not taking it. So then she's trying to play into that again, and Jordy just kind of acts consistent to his behaviors. A lot of people were really mad because Jordy was like, Amberlynn, you can come on, but then changed his mind. But again, I think it's just like when you're in the heat of the moment, there's so much going on. Like, I'm not really upset about that. And then Jordy didn't let Amber on. Karina Kaboom was like, that was a good idea. Amberlynn then had to go on her own stream for her own narrative, okay? Jordy stream 1 is the first Erica Brittany phone call. Then I'll make a timeline of this. I'll also put it on screen. Amberlynn Reid live stream talking about Erica. Now we're back to, oh Lordy, it's Jordy a second time. They want to clear up further details. They call in again, they being Erica and Brittany. Erica and Brittany are talking to Jordy. They're talking about some details that Amberlynn brought up, such as when Erica worked at a prison. They talked about how it started as this, like, troll, but then it kind of became where Erica caught feelings and things got way more complicated. Brittany talked about how little she knew, but how many lies that Amber told about the fact that they were married and together and not in, like, this, like, open marriage thing that Amberlynn had implied. They talk about the way that Brittany talks about this phone call that she had with Amberlynn, which I believe Apathetic Facts also has. Everything that I'm referencing and passing, I'll link down below as well. And then you have your further conversations about Amberlynn's sort of, like, manipulative nature. But the thing is that this conversation was feeling really, like, info dumpy and kind of like they're trying to clear up things that are not really relevant. This is where people kind of began to turn on Brittany and Erica, and even Jordy's like, this is, like, too messy for me personally. There's, like, a point where they talk about how Amberlynn Reid was really, really aware that she was a homewrecker because she made a joke about Erica getting a homewrecker burrito at this barbecue place in America that I don't know about. Now, we have gotten to sort of the end of the Erica and Brittany thing, because what happened is Erica and Brittany after this, people were just really not into it. They're allegedly were supposed to stream or something. I'll see if that even ever happened. I'll add in a voiceover if this did happen. Like, specifically, that's there. Salty Crab is also a channel that brought everything forward. And this is the sort of also beginning of the X. So there was like Salty Crab and Apathetic Facts had the first things that came out. Then Jordy had the phone call. Yada, 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 whatever. Okay? After all of this, people began So let's get into now the Tommy updates. Part 2, I guess. That now we've gotten to people are really noticing that they feel like it's been a distraction for talking about the Tommy stuff. So people have turned back to Tommy. They go, you know what? All these people are trashy and cringe. We don't really care about them. So let's just like bring the conversation back to like where we were trying to go with this. So now people are confronting Amber about Tommy again. Jordy's also back on it. Talking about how the timeline now with Erica makes it so messy. Because Erica also claimed within essentially 24 to 48 hours of her and Amber no longer talking that Tommy had a plane ticket. Here's the tea on that one, right? Amberlynn Reid's like, no, it wasn't 24 hours. It was like 4 days. My brother in Christ. And also I want to mention that in this stream, or in Amber's stream talking about Erica, but also there's Gus hairs on my face. I'm sorry. And the stream talking about Tommy, which we'll get to in a second, Amberlynn just constantly goes, it's my BPD, it's my BPD. But then when people go, you're not noticing that you're being love bombed because of your BPD, she goes, I know myself, I know my BPD, essentially. Just being like, no, my BPD actually only exists and can affect anything when it favors me. Which is how she's been her entire life.
You're lying. Like, you lied to your wife for almost a year about talking to me. You lied to me for almost a year about being in a full-fledged marriage that I thought was open. And then by the fucking time you told me that you're in a real life marriage, I was too fucked up to say bye. Like, it's wrong. Like, I hate more than anything blaming my BPD. But if anyone knows a damn thing about it, one thing, especially for me, is that I get a favorite person. I don't know the clinical term for this. I should seek therapy. I understand. Erica was that for me. Like, she became that for me. So anything she would do, even if it would like hurt me beyond measure, somehow, some way, I would make it okay. And I would stand by her. I literally hate that about myself, but that's just like who I am. Like, I just don't understand. So anyways, June 9th, her uncle dies, and she immediately tells me. And I'm like, oh my God, babe, like, I'm so sorry. I'm here for you. I love you. Like, I wish I could give you a hug. If you need anything, like, you know that I'm here. I'm like one message away, one call away. Like, obviously I wanted to be there for her because when Erica's like hurting or she's mad or something bad happens, like the way that she is, she's just very amplified. She is very much one of them types of people. So I was worried for her mental health. So obviously as a girlfriend, I was like, I'm there for you. So she responded like she usually does. And then all of a sudden she just like disappears, like off of the face of the planet. That was hard for me because I didn't understand it. I know that she was going through heartbreak and like mourning and grieving. Like, that's really sad. Like, her uncle died, and I'm not gonna go into details like how that happened, but like it's like also the way it happened is just like devastating. And for days she just wouldn't talk to me, and that wasn't the norm. That wasn't part of our pattern. And as someone with BPD, it mentally was messing with me. And I would message her a few times a day, and I would tell her, like, why aren't you talking to me? Like, I see you're still going to the gym and you're still posting to your Instagram and you're still doing all these things, but you've completely taken me out of your life after being a part of my life for almost a year now. I couldn't understand it, and I wanted to so badly. She would give me these little tiny breadcrumbs of like, I miss you, I love you. You know, she would do that. Of course, it was like a few days of that. And then we finally, I think she went to the bar, and I don't know like what made her finally like actually talk to me, but we finally had the discussion, and she was saying how like she doesn't know if she wants to be with me, but she wants me to make that choice. Because I remember asking her, like, are we gonna break up? And she was like, I want you to make that choice. And I was just like, I didn't understand that. And it felt like a mature conversation, to be honest, because she was like, I feel like I can't give you what you need right now. I can't give you what you deserve right now. And I said, you need to do what is best for you. And if breaking up and just being friends is that, then that's what we're gonna do. And that's what I said to her. And I literally have those messages. Like, I have those screenshots, like I do. And her saying how like after we broke up, how I kept messaging her and I was having a BPD freak out. That's a lie. That's an actual lie. I will admit to my BPD freakouts 1,000,000,000%. They happened while being in a relationship with her because my gut and intuition was constantly on fire, constantly saying like Erica is lying to you. Like,
this is also, and I know people like what they like about me to a certain degree is that I don't talk about her weight that much. This is going to be like a slight segue to a somewhat related weight conversation, but it's not going to be very long. Amberlynn Reid has what I believe is stage 5 lipedema and lymphedema, which is when you have, like, I'll put an image, like a medical image on below there, or on the screen rather, where it's like you get these kind of like fat accumulations that are like really, really, really dense and can't really be burned calorically in the same way that, like, you know, regular fat can be burned, right? And it sort of kind of looks like really, really, really intense cellulite and like really big kind of thing, okay? So a lot of people comment on like Amberlynn Reid's legs, right? Because her legs are very like, when you have your legs, you have like your thigh and then it goes in your knees and then it goes back out like this, you know? Like it's like top of your leg, thigh, straight down, and then you got your calf at the bottom like that. My back scratcher is making an appearance today. Anywho, Amberlynn Reid's legs are like trunks. Like they're kind of straight down. Amberlynn has, when she was diagnosed with the lipedema and lymphedema, was essentially like, that is why I weigh so much, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I overeat. Here's the thing with that, right, is that it's a little, like, obviously, I'm not a doctor, I'm not claiming to be a doctor, I'm not claiming to be a professional, but some of these things are just kind of facts of life here, right? You have lymphedema and lipedema, which is very valid. Lymphedema, a big part of it is caused by hormone issues. Now, a lot of this you can't help, right? Amberlynn does clearly overeat and binge and eat really, really badly, causing her to gain weight. When you gain weight, even not related to lipedema and lymphedema, you can also have like some hormone issues that can come with that. Amberlynn also has to be particularly careful with hormone issues because she had a full-blown hysterectomy in 2020. The whole thing's gone, which is also going to mess up with her hormones, right? And there's also conversations about how she was really inconsistent about that treatment, which can further hormone issues as well. Now, are they necessarily related, these hormone issues? I'm not sure. But the thing is that when you're constantly, like, bombarding your body with, like, horrific things and like, bad attention, you're going to have more issues. But Amberlynn Reid, essentially, as soon as she got the lipedema and lymphedema thing, was like, I have an out. But then she was recommended a diet from the doctor, lipedema specialist doctor, and then was like, it's keto, I'm not going to do it, pretty much. She did it for, like, a week. She's like, nah. So Amberlynn has been consistently just using diagnoses to be manipulative, and that's it. And that's where it ends. And I'm saying the reason why I brought up the lipedema as opposed to just even other mental health disorders is that the harsh reality of, like, the world we live in and we live in the society or whatnot is that, like, people don't necessarily take mental health issues in the same way. The reason why I brought up the lipedema is because it's there and you can see it. And it's more tangible in that regard, right? And this is also something that people are really worried about in regards to Tommy, is that, like, Tommy has these, like, feeder allegations, and Amberlynn is already in, like, a really dangerous position where, like, things cannot get any worse, right? So then Amberlynn Reid talks about Tommy, and she's talking about how they had broken up, and they're not broken up anymore, and they're back together, because she realizes that Tommy's really, really good for her, and everyone's just wrong. Even though Tommy is known her for a month, Tommy's constantly bombarding her with affection. Tommy got her gifts and stuff, rented a Jeep and everything. Tommy's, like, talking to other people about how the ex-fiance, had just passed away and this, like, love of her life, but that, you know, Amberlynn Reid's her new, like, person or whatever, which is, like, really wild to me personally. And it's, like, it's not even just, like, textbook love bombing. It's, like, if you were to explain it to a baby, like, that's what it would be, you know? And she's like, I love Tommy, we love each other. They've already telling each other they love each other, like, constantly, clearly, also. They've known each other for, like, a month, right? And Amberlynn, it's so strange, because Amberlynn tries to swing the timeline both ways. From, like, oh, we know each other pretty well, it's been, like, 2 months or whatever, to favor the, like, no love bombing allegations. But then we'll swing the other way to, like, we haven't been talking that long, so she had time to heal from her fiance literally passing away from seemingly extreme, severe, morbid obesity related illnesses or something like that. Like, she was even in a rehab and everything, right? So not really debatable in that regard. I'm gonna be realistic with y'all. 2 months is not enough time when they died and you're speaking at their funeral. Sorry, I don't really want to hear it. Especially to be so gung-ho and, like, in the weeds with the internet and everything, it's like, clearly why am I clicking my mouse? I'm getting anxious. Clearly you have like no like morals. I don't really know what else. Like, I feel like it's like, you could debate the timeline and everything like that, like as regards to like how long people take to heal and stuff, but like this person's clearly like not it. You know what I mean? Like, can we all agree on that at least, please? I'm begging you. So Amberlynn Reid, in addressing Tommy, talks about how they're, you know, together and how everyone was wrong, and she's like this lovely person, that Amberlynn Reid is not gaining weight but has stopped taking Ozempic because it doesn't work for her anymore. I see it this way, right? Why would you stop taking Ozempic even if you're not having super rapid weight loss anymore? Because it can only help you within her circumstance. She's not getting sick from it. It helps manage like pre-diabetic symptoms potentially. Because the other thing that I noticed was that, and nobody else clocked this too, when Amberlynn started taking the Ozempic, she posted her A1C numbers to prove that she wasn't pre-diabetic or diabetic or anything. To my recollection, she had a 5.1, and pre-diabetic starts at 5.3. But she was on diabetes medication, Ozempic, when she took that screenshot. Does that not... Am I stupid? Maybe doctors in the chat hit me up. Like, if she was on Ozempic already, and then had a 5.1, would that have not made her pre-diabetic before? My number was like many margins lower. And I'm not on any medication. So it's like, if you're just at the cusp and you're on medication, does that not imply that you are in fact diabetic? This is just a genuine question, like weird side tangent, but this is why these are unscripted, and this is just like my thoughts kind of flowing through. So then she's like, Tommy's not a feeder, ignores the fact, like she genuinely never head on faces the things that people were actually asking about. Amberlynn claims that the reason why Tommy and the ex-fiance, who again I'm not like naming for decency's sake here, were posting these pictures was for money. Now, to my recollection, this sort of website isn't monetized. I guess there could have been private payers and things like that, but if it was like to see each other, I think it would have been really obvious and better to have kept it long distance and not put the partner in severe health risk than to just like see them and then feed them to... It still doesn't check out, because to see each other and then you're rapidly making them way faster, that still doesn't make sense. This is not me trying to claim that I'm any smarter than like anybody, or that like I know anything that other people like. It's just that I'm surprised that nobody's like pointing these things out, I guess. So now fast forward for real, we get Alexis on TikTok. I'll just put the screenshots because there's just screenshots with copyrighted audios. So this is part 3. We got the Alexis update now. The reason why the Tommy update's pretty short is because it was just Amberlynn Reid lying. Like, let's keep it in stack. So, you have now Tommy being in a relationship with Amber, and Amber's defending this person vehemently, like somehow just like ignoring everything. Alexis posts on TikTok essentially like it was her or me. Because Amberlynn is also, which to no one's surprise, is the type that is just, as soon as she gets a partner, ditches all her friends. Who's surprised? Not me. So now you've got Alexis coming out being like, it was her or me, you chose her. On a now deleted live stream that Bessie, new friend of the channel seemingly, Zachary Michael, has provided for me, Amber goes and calls on a phone with Alexis because Alexis insists on addressing these things publicly.
Genuinely, what was the point of this?
Because you aren't always accountable when it's private, when we have a private...
Okay, that's fine. Like, I don't have to be fully accountable. You don't have to be fully accountable. It doesn't matter.
Why not? Why not?
Because I just fully don't understand. Like, I just don't understand, and I never will. And I've tried to explain to you, like...
What do you mean you will never understand? I have given you clear-cut reasons why I am not a fan of this relationship. I have given you valid reason after valid reason after valid reason.
I know, but you come up with things where I'm like, oh no, let me explain that. Like, you're literally off your rocker in that case. Like, I've literally... Like, any person I've ever spoken to, you've never wanted me to talk to them anymore or be with them.
Okay. I liked Jade. Obviously not Emma. Okay.
Why do you say real names?
I liked Feline.
Holy fuck. But that's the thing. How do you like someone who did the things that they did to me and you know what she did to me? That's where I'm like, this is hectic. Like, how could you sit there and say that?
But I also know what all these other girls have done to you too.
Oh my God. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with you, but like, I just want you to support, like, because, like, I know you don't want to be my friend, but I'm just letting you know, like, I know you gave me the ultimatum, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But genuinely, Tommy makes me, like, the happiest I've ever felt, and I want to keep feeling that, and I want to see Where
She
are
also makes you very sad. She also makes you
no? What makes me very sad is everything that's been going on lately online.
No.
It's been freaking.
No. I'm
All right,
gonna say
I'm gonna hang up actually because you know that to be true. That everything that has been happening online has made us both miserable. Like you have heard me cry about it multiple times.
I'm sorry, but the one
And before all of this
about,
happened, me and Tommy never had sad moments like that. Like it literally was magic, like actual magic. And then all of a sudden our mental health got low because we were being harassed for days on end. Like, so yes, I cried to you a lot about that. And it's like, it just sucks that you're taking my mental health and then Tommy's mental health and like using it against us and saying, yeah, this is the deciding factor of why I don't like this relationship. That's crazy to me because you have also been in situations like even in your current one, let's not go there. I won't do that. Where I'm like,
I'm not bringing them into this.
I'm just saying. They have also done things where I'm like,
okay, yes, but nobody's perfect, but they have never said the things to me that Tommy has said to you.
I think that maybe like you took it wrong, but like me in like a BPD moment or episode, I'm a little hectic and I get kind of like,
Amberlynn, oh my God. One of the specific comments that she made to you was awful. I would never say that to a partner.
Okay, but to me, like, so people are thinking this is staged. It actually is. Are you guys enjoying it? This is staged, actually, genuinely. What was I saying?
Say hi.
Hi, Basil.
Hi.
What a sweet little baby. Hold on a second.
Now, isn't this so wild that someone who was close friends with Amber says you need to call me with other people present or you're going to be too manipulative to talk to? Again, an incredibly consistent behavior. Because if it's rewind time, go back to last year with Destiny, when Amber didn't think that she was on live with Destiny, you hear the way that she talks to Destiny on the phone. Immediately starts trying to weaponize traumas, immediately starts trying to weaponize secrets and leverage information. Very combative, very forceful, very angry. And when she's on the phone with Alexis, you can hear her start to like cry, and then immediately pull it back. Switching back and forth. Trying to leverage things like Alexis's relationships. Trying to leverage things like Alexis's experiences with these partners, knowing things about Jade, knowing things about, which is now 100 billion% confirmed, wifey's name. Going back to talking about how, which I didn't bring this up before, but I don't think it's that relevant. I think it's really sad, actually. Erica, for some reason, reveals on the live stream, I think with Jordy, the second one, that Amberlynn Reid was like physically abused by Jade, but that it was also like quote unquote mutual. Now, the thing is that Amberlynn Reid has been tracked for being physically violent with her partners. So I can't even, like, I don't want to get into the politics of, like, who started it or anything like that by any stretch of the imagination. But it does call into question kind of, like, the way that this was kind of described and just kind of rings more alarm bells for me personally on, like, the possibilities of the way that Amberlynn reacts with and interacts with these people. So on the phone with Alexis, Amberlynn Reid is being so manipulative that it is actually making my blood boil. Now, what I might do is make a quick little supercut. I did this with the TBH podcast thing in my Dr. Disrespect video. I might make a really quick supercut on, like, the most, like, incredibly mind-bogglingly manipulative statements that come out of Amberlynn Reid's mouth. But it's just Alexis being surprisingly, like, having, like, mental fortitude in this conversation and just being like, no, you're copping out. You're copping out all the time. And it was actually very satisfying to see because not many people are willing to match Amberlynn Reid's energy in a way that she will continue to talk to them, if that makes sense. Like, people will match Amberlynn Reid's energy in, like, comment sections and in chats and stuff, but then she just blocks them and that's it. And it just really shows how Amber just, like, will not... Like I said, it just gives evil. I don't really know what else to say. It's, like, super manipulative, history of abusing partners, and it's, like, all of this is Amberlynn Reid just wants to be the victim of all of this so badly. Like, that's how she wants to be perceived. But for me, it's, like, I'm just, like, it's just you showing your ass all the time. And that's it. You know what I mean? So, as if I'm talking to someone directly. Which, I mean, I guess, you know, we could treat this video like that, you know?
But, like, I think it's time that maybe we take this off a line. And if you don't want to talk in private, that's fine. I will respect that as well.
I don't want things to get disrespectful, and I'm really not a super big fan of you bringing my partner into this because they have been nothing but nice.
Okay, then let's move on from that Let's move on from that. We don't
that's
have
why the Diggers came out, because
we don't have to. I get that. We don't have to agree, but that doesn't mean like, why can't you like separate? Like, okay, you just admitted people aren't perfect. Okay, that's number one. Tommy has been going through one of the lowest times of her life, trying to gravitate that with thousands of people watching.
I understand. But when I was doxxed earlier this year, I did not take it out.
Okay, I get that. Her story is different though. Her story is different, and she's never taken it out on me. She has had low mental health, and I'm sure everyone watching, like, you guys have had very low like mental health before, and you need space. And dating someone with BPD, which is me, like, if your partner says you need space, you kind of take that personal. And I know I shouldn't take that personal. Once I'm out of like my weird BPD type of deal, I'm able to focus in and be like, this is normal. Like, we shouldn't be on FaceTime 24/7 when your mental health is that low. And then you don't even want to have this phone call with me privately. You want to do it publicly yet again, knowing that I love you and I'm not going to be able to say no. Like, that's not fair at all.
Okay, but you don't always show me that you love me.
I try my hardest. Like, I'm always there for you. Like, I feel like we've gotten the closest ever since I've been with Tommy. Like, we all three of us hang out together, and like, I just don't understand, like, genuinely.
Also, I want to clarify, I haven't met either of them. We have not hung out in person.
No, it's not in person. It's very 2024 coded through the FaceTime, actually.
Whiplash, because one day it's not perfect and you're breaking up, and the next day it's perfect and wonderful and magical. You're literally giving me whiplash. I don't know if I'm supposed to support her or not.
You are supposed to support her, and you're supposed to support the fact that like I'm happy and like we're finally getting over that like scary like mental health situation that we were in. And I think that like when someone's at their lowest, like to judge them during that time is not the person that I am. I can't do it, because I know for me, when I'm at my lowest, I say and do things that I probably wouldn't do otherwise. Like,
okay, has she apologized
yes,
for the comment?
Of course.
For the one specific comment,
yes.
I know you know I'm talking about.
Yes. Because like I just, in the way that I would support you, like I want you to do the same for me. Like when I'm genuinely happy.
I was trying.
And it's like it's fucked up that like I can't confide in you like as a best friend. Like,
you can. Do you know all the stuff that I literally could have said that I chose not to?
No, that I like actually, yeah. Like, you know a lot of stuff about my exes, about friends, about people in my life. Like, you know a lot, like genuinely.
But do you really think that I would ever spill that? Be so for real right now.
I was scared. I hope you have fun at your concert. I look like a dumb, so
a dumb.
I look like a manipulator. I don't take accountability.
Stop reading the comments. I'm not reading the comments. I'm talking to you.
Okay, I get that, but like, I just you have seen.
Amberlynn, I don't think you're a bad person. I just think that sometimes you're vulnerable, and you need someone to show you different perspectives sometimes.
Okay, but I'm letting you know that like I firmly think that you're wrong in this situation, and in the way that like you're viewing whatever you're viewing, like it's just not. And it's not fair because you already know. Yes, but why does it have to be publicly? Why?
Because you aren't always accountable when it's private.
Oh my God. But it doesn't have. Oh my goodness. I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know. Thank you, Rachel. I feel fucking doing it live doesn't change the way that I respond to you. That's all I gotta say.
I beg to differ.
I'd probably be crying more actually if we were off a line. So I'm crying less being online.
Good.
But
I don't know if there is going to be a resolution right now. I think that we both have a lot of things to think about. And
I've already been thinking. I've already done my thoughts.
Me too.
I've been journaling. I've been thinking. I've been talking.
Not the aggressive journaling.
I'll always be journaling. That's just what I do. And I know what I want in my life, and I know how I feel about certain situations, and I don't know. Like, I just
a harmful relationship. I would want you to.
There's nothing harmful, and this is where I'm going to hang up, because there's nothing harmful happening. This is like the softest love I've ever had in my life, and I've wanted the gentle love. That is what I've craved. Someone to actually like love me gently, and it's not toxic or this like gross, like heavy, abusive. Like, I've been in abusive things, and you know that. And this is the first time where I'm like, wow. So this is how it feels to like be loved without like feeling like there's some sort of like abuse going on, and I don't want to talk about this. Like,
Alexis, yeah, just making some TikToks. People are claiming that she's clout chasing and she wants a bag, whatever. Especially because she asked to call into Oh Lordy, It's Jordy. He said no, but they have some DMs. I will put a screenshot or play a short clip, depending on how I feel, about with the DMs that Jordy had. Essentially, in short, they kind of reveal, like, she's talking about how there's a lot more to Tommy that we don't know, and that she already knew that Tommy was a feeder before any of the website stuff came out, just by the way that she fetishized and treated Amberlynn Reid. So now Alexis is seemingly being on this sort of rampage. I'm comfortable making this video now because I feel like it's finally cooled down a little bit. Alright, because I seemingly took too long to edit this video, and by too long I mean like quite literally it being the next day, 2 Q&A videos from Alexis have dropped and hit Amberlynn Reid. I was going to make a joke about something else, but I'm not going to. I've redacted that because I am a well-developed and cognitively responsible person. Now, I'm going to skim really quick the questions that were asked just because I'm so tired editing this. I've been at my computer now for 15 hours because I also worked all day, and the mental decline is seeping in. So essentially just answered a bunch of questions, particularly about like her experiences with Amber and her relationships and what she knew. First one is, did Amber know about the feeder stuff before Kiwi Farms found out? I'm just taking the exciting ones, by the way. Please watch the actual video because I'm just really quickly summarizing this for people who have no clue what's going on. She said that Amber talked about how Tommy preferred really, really, really big women specifically, and that kind of set off Alexis's alarm bells. Next question is Amber to her girlfriends, and she said that essentially it takes 2 to tango, but that if she was dating Amber, she would need, and I quote, a grippy sock vacation. So I guess she's saying that she's noticed these behaviors, but will not outright confirm or deny, probably just based on the fact that she feels that she wasn't there and doesn't know things. That's based on the context of what I can gather. Next, what was absolutely vile thing that Emily said to Amber? Do you think she encouraged her late partner's passing? The really gross thing was that Tommy said that essentially she didn't want to be alive in this world and she wanted to be with her ex-fiance, which is why you don't jump into another relationship 2 months after your fiance literally passes away. I feel like that's self-explanatory. Next, Erica claims that Amber made jokes about being the other woman. Did she do the same to you? How did she justify being with a married woman? Alexis just goes over like the weird justifications that Amberlynn had regarding like, oh, they were married for financial reasons, or it was an open relationship, blah, blah, blah. And then goes on a little bit of a tangent about how Erica was definitely super into Amber and was really downplaying the relationship that they had. We have, was she rejected for weight loss surgery? The whole arc ending didn't add up. Alexis says just really bluntly, yes, she was rejected. She couldn't stop binging. Then there was this one that says, does she regularly, which is the last one I have for the first video, does she regularly send out naked photos to people on the internet that she's never met? Is she smart enough to cut her face out? And Alexis says that pretty much every person she talks to gets some photos, some crumble cookie content, I suppose, and she does not block her face out, which is so, like, I am happy that this has never happened. But the fact that we've never gotten any of these coming out of, like, the Kiwi Farms is mind-boggling to me. Like, that's a crazy track record. Anyway, in regard to aforementioned cookie photo, Jordy did a live stream talking about Alexis' video. I think it's in the timeline thing I made. I'll put it back on screen. Anyway, crumble cookie video was the thumbnail of the first Q&A video, which essentially was apparently Amberlynn like erotically eating a crumble cookie and then like potentially putting it near her cookie, if you catch my drift. Now, also no clothes at some point or something. Now here's the tea on that. Apparently that was sent to Erica on July 31st, days after the exposing, because we have the timeline on the screen right now. So I have no clue what's going on. Everybody is cuckoo bananas, I fear. Now, I'll do another half voiceover clip for the second video, but I need to go watch it on 3.6 times speed first. I'll get back to y'all. Okay, I have to talk about the second Q&A as well. And I am also watching Amberlynn is currently live with a live stream called Crumble Cookies Gate. I cannot make this up. I have it on, if you can see on the screen, 3.4 times speed to catch up so I can get the bulk of the tea before I go to bed, because I am literally falling asleep at my desk. I am pathetic. But anyway, so Alexis talks about at the beginning of the video like how they became friends, how she was a viewer, and actually initially her and Amber were supposed to date, and that she was the one that Amber started talking to right after her and Jade broke up circa last year, but then they didn't work out, whatever. Now we have the next part, which she just talks about, and I'm not even putting all the screenshots in because it's just really, this one was kind of a nothing burger, to be honest with you, where she talks about the DMs between her and Eric, which is Amberlynn's ex-roommate from 2019. Again, nothing burger. It was just Eric essentially asking her if she's upset. That's kind of it. And then it began to go where they go through Amberlynn Reid's text messages, and that one kind of discusses like the manipulative nature that Amberlynn kind of insisted on calling her privately after the whole phone call when she was trying to go to the concert, and how Amber is like super toxic, especially in private, and talks about how she appreciated the support and everything. And now on this live stream, genuinely right now, Amberlynn is like completely rearranging the story to saying that, you know, Alexis is twisting the story, all that kind of stuff. Now in this live stream, Amberlynn is describing the fact that she was talking to a lot of people and was like flirty or whatever, and Erica always gets crumble cookies or something, and that Erica was really excited to get them and also loved Amberlynn's taste test on YouTube or something. So then Amberlynn thought it was a good idea to mix the two things together, and now she's kind of pulling on this like concept of revenge P word. I also got a line just now that she has hardly eaten anything of the cookie, as if that really matters. She's drinking a buzzball, by the way, and just keeps saying that it's a lot, and is really trying to reshape the Alexis story to her being a victim of this person who sought the revenge on her. And she's calling the God, I can't make this up. She's saying that the cookie video was just supposed to be something classy and nice for the girl, but she kept it because she was talking to several people at once, ? I'm gonna let the reaction channels cover this one, bestie booze, because you can hear me dying in my voice. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye. Also, hold on. And says that it's not feederism because she only took 2 bites of the cookie. That's my other comment. Now, bye. She also claims, despite the fact that she sent it to Alexis, that Alexis was asking for it or something, and then commented on it to a point that made Amber uncomfy. Despite the fact that Alexis has talked about every single one of the conversations with Erica, including the sexual videos, and that she did not like that. Lex is also in the chat, by the way. You'll have a juicy day with reaction channels today, besties, for real. But again, I am about to have a funeral for myself, and by funeral I mean 8-hour nap, respectfully. But I guess we'll see about that. But all of this has been genuinely so wild and crazy and mind-boggling, and I really want to know y'all's thoughts in the comments. Also, y'all's comments last time were so funny. Specifically, the one that I pinned, which is the raccoon. By the way, raccoon hole fixed. Actually, I don't know if I'll be near my car in enough time. In a video eventually, I'll put a picture of the repaired automobile. My 2023 Golf GTI can finally slay the day again. And I'm saying the name of the model of the car so you can like think about what it looks like if you know what it looks like. But yeah, the raccoon car hole would have loved Amberlynn Reid thing. That was funny. And then the person who's theorizing that like I'm the commentary channel that she has a crush on, that would also be really funny. Thing is, I feel like I'm too like girly looking because like Amberlynn's got like a type, you know what I'm saying? Like Amberlynn's into like the mask kind of like. I have the build for it, to be fair. I am, and this is not me like, you know, being like I'm so skinny, but like I am smaller than like Amberlynn Reid's like, you know, taste in partners. It seems, contrary to the belief of some people in my comment section, I'm actually not plus size. I'm like a size 10, size 8, 10, I think. To that, we're going to conclude the video. Links, sources, ways to support channel, all that kind of stuff, all down below, along with an email to suggest content if you think this is fun. I have bigger videos cooking, I promise you. I just haven't been able to get to them because this just keeps developing and I really want to talk about it. And like I said, it was so funny because what made Zachary Michael follow me was me saying they're going to think I'm an Amberlynn Reid channel now. Because I'm doing like 2 videos in a row or whatever. It's just a morbid curiosity of mine that I'm interested in, unfortunately. So I like to have these conversations with y'all, and if I can like get a bag for the student loans at the same time, because that's generally all this channel has become, if anyone's curious, I'll do it. You know what I mean? With that in mind, I hope y'all have an amazing day. I'll put a silly little TikTok at the end, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.